everyone. Welcome back to English with Dev Krishna. Today we are going to do another chapter in the ICSE Class 10 syllabus, The Girl Who Can, written by Ama Ata Aidu, a very renowned African feminist writer. आज का जो story है, it's all about, I won't say feminism, but it's definitely about women emancipation. Women are not just born to make babies or to create families. They also have their own aims, ambitions, and goals. And this story is how a 7-year-old child, 7-year-old girl child, faces these kind of problems in the society, especially in her home, and उसके ऊपर वो कैसे उठती है. एक 7 साल की लड़की को कॉन्स्टेंटली बोला जाता है कि उसके टांगे, her legs are too thin and it won't be able to support solid hips needed for producing babies. So you can understand there are two problems here. First of all, a 7-year girl has to constantly listen to this. एक body shaming हो जाता है, plus she is not, her brain is not at par with these adult stuff, you can say, because एक 7 साल की बच्ची अभी भी बच्ची है. If she's constantly said that she won't be able to have babies because she has skinny legs and it won't be able to support solid hips, there's a constant mire of confusion in her mind. Where are my legs wrong? How is it wrong? कितना मोटा होना चाहिए था? तो ये constantly, this is the first problem. And second problem is that एक 7 साल की बच्ची के कुछ एस्पिरेशंस होते हैं विच इज़ नॉट टेकन इन टू व्यू, बट उसका एक ही ड्यूटी डेजिग्नेट किया जाता है दैट यू आर अ फीमेल एंड यू आर मेंट टू हैव बेबीज. दैट इज़ द रीज़न यू कम टू दिस वर्ल्ड. सो हियर हाउ शी faces these problems and how beautifully she comes out of it, जहाँ पर उसके actions सबको ये prove कर देते हैं कि a woman is not actually meant always, it's not only meant, she's meant to have babies. It's completely her choice whether she wants to have a family, whether she wants to get married, whether she wants to have babies. That's completely her choice. But just like any other man, कोई भी और मर्द की तरह, a woman has every right to choose what her ambition resonates with. उसको क्या चाहिए, उसके ड्रीम्स किसके साथ रेजोनेट करते हैं. ठीक है, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. नाउ देयर आर 3 main characters. All the 3 main characters are women characters. Okay, so very women centric story. First of all, we have Adjoa, the 7-year-old girl. A 7-year-old girl, you will find many things which are worth being inspired by her. Okay, we'll come to that one by one. Then we have Nana, her grandmother. She is her mother's mother, Nana. And then is Mami, her mother. Also, her name is Kaya. उसकी मम्मी का नाम है Kaya, but she calls her mother Mami. And she calls her grandmother Nana. Now, you can understand that Nana, although she is her mother's mother, it's basically a matriarchal family. Matriarchal का मतलब है where the head of the family is a woman. Okay, yet you will find her constantly representing patriarchy. Now we cannot always blame the men for everything. There are situations where women, औरत ही औरत की सबसे बड़ी दुश्मन होती है. ये हम लोग बहुत बार ऐसे instances we must have felt, right? So it's not that always patriarchy is the one attacking us. No, there are so many women who want us to push into that boundary कि boundary के बाहर नहीं जाना है. You're a woman, you're supposed to get married, you're supposed to have babies. That's it. That should be the aim of your life. But then how Adjoa rises above all these things in a very, very innocent, confident way. This is the story all about. Okay, let's start. They say that I was born in Hazodzi, and it is a very big village in the central region of our country, Ghana. And now you know Ghana is a very famous country in Africa for coffee beans. They also say that when all of Africa is not choking under a drought means dryness, जब ज़मीन फट जाता है, अच्छा फसल नहीं होता, right? Good crops don't grow. It's completely dry out, extremely hot. Hazodzi lies in a very fertile lowland in a district known for its good soil. So Hazodzi is in a safe place. Maybe that is why anytime I don't finish eating my food, Nana says, "You Adjoa, you don't know what life is about. You don't know what problems there are in life." Now this is a very good thing about Nana. She always reminds Adjoa को always remind करती है खाना waste मत करो because तुमको पता नहीं है how difficult life is, which is true. Africa is a very difficult continent to live in, and Hazodzi being in a favorable place where the soil is good, at least they're getting food. So she constantly teaches Adjoa not to waste food and to be grateful for whatever they have. As far as I could see, there was only one problem, and it had nothing to do with what I knew Nana considered as problem. So what Mami think of is the problem. Problem kya tha? Mami is my mother, Nana is my mother's mother. That's the introduction part. And they say I am 7 years old, and my problem is that at this 7 years of age, there are things I can think in my head, but which maybe I do not have the proper language to speak them out. And that I think is a very serious problem. There are children who think a lot since a very young age. It's not that maybe the possible reason with Adjoa might have been that वो ऐसे situation में थी कि constantly people are judging her, constantly people are talking about her, and whenever she used to approach the adults, she used to be laughed at. This is a sort of bullying. It happens in our Indian families also. कोई बच्चा अगर कोई थोड़ा सा बड़ा कुछ पूछ लेता है बड़ों को, they don't take it nicely, they take it very personally, and either they will scold it, don't say it anymore, or they'll laugh it off. Okay, because it is always difficult to decide whether to keep quiet or not say any of the things that come into my head or say to them, she gets laughed at. So she feels very dicey कि बोलना है कि नहीं बोलना है, कुछ I have certain queries, बोलना है कि नहीं बोलना है. Take Nana. First, I have to struggle to get her attention. Nana का बात ही देख लो. Constantly she thinks Nana को कैसे बोलूं, because Nana is a very moody character. Then I tell her something I had taken a long time to figure out, and then you know what happens. Nana क्या करती है? She will first say क्या बोली? What did you say? Come again. And when Adjoa would say that whatever confusion is in her mind, Nana this is this, then Nana would stare at her with her mouth open. This automatically एक बच्चे को एक ridiculous वाला feeling देता है कि मैंने ऐसे क्या बोल दिया. What did I just say? That the adult is staring at me. Okay? And वो वाला feeling देता है कि उसको और confuse कर देता है क्या मैंने कुछ गलत बोल दिया? Did I say anything out of the limit? So, and then bending her towards her slightly, she would say, Adjoa, what did you say? So when you make the child repeat purposely, this is purposely, you are actually making the child doubt their self-identity. उसका कॉन्फिडेंस मारने का फुल ये एकदम फुल प्रूफ प्लान है कि फिर से बोलो. और बोलने के बाद when she does say it again, she stares at her and then she says never 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 repeat that. So it's like a warning, and then she starts laughing so much that this girl Adjoa feels extremely ashamed of herself. She feels bullied, and then if some of her friends, Nana's friends, happen to come about, then she would repeat that for every adult or every lady of Nana's age, and they would also start rolling on the ground, start laughing, wiping their tears. मैंने इतना हंसी आ रहा है कि आंखों से आंसू ही निकल रहे. So just imagine yourself standing that way, being laughed at by a group of aged women for some kind of clarification that you wanted, and also more because कुछ adults ये responsibility नहीं लेते कि what am I putting into the child's head. She is talking, she's constantly bickering about Adjoa's skinny legs, which we have not yet come, we will. But then you have to understand, if you are constantly feeding the child with these out of the topic or out of the age topics, then it is harmful. Then you should be also ready for these kind of questions to come from children. So nobody explained why sometimes I shouldn't repeat some things, while at the other times some other things I say would not be all right. So this makes her very puzzled. This makes her extremely puzzled कि मैं बोलूँ कि मैं नहीं बोलूँ, कितना बोलना चाहिए था. So she gets confused. Like all this business to do with my legs, now coming to the main topic of the story. I have always wanted to tell them not to worry, I mean Nana and my mother, that it did not have any issue. She used to constantly find Nana and her mommy, that is her mother and grandmother, bickering about her legs. Nana used to constantly say that this girl Adjoa, she doesn't have solid legs. How will she be able to, how will she be able to have children in future? Imagine a 7-year-old girl being judged, just 7-year-old. She has come to this earth. She's still a child. She's still a baby almost. She is being judged whether in future she will be able to produce babies or not. So and it's not only in African setting, in our Indian households also, not all. Some households, they start talking about marriage and children, और तुमको घर का काम नहीं आता, तुमको खाना पकाना नहीं आता, तुम दूसरे के घर में जाके क्या करोगी. If this is constantly pushed into the ears of a female child, which happens in our Indian households, you must be very well acquainted with it. तो क्या होता है, उसको फिर एक आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस होता है कि मेरा काम क्या सिर्फ किसी और का घर संभालना है. Don't I have any aspirations and ambitions of my own? So same thing with Adjoa. But what the brighter side of this story is that Adjoa doesn't get depressed. She doesn't get bogged down. The discussion very regularly क्या होता था, नाना बोलती थी, you know Kaya. Kaya is mommy's name, okay? I thank my God that your very first child is female, but Kaya, I am not sure about her legs. And Nana would shake her head ऐसे करती थी, कितना गंदा legs है उसका. Mommy would say, Mother, why are you always complaining about Adjoa's legs? If you ask me, then Nana would immediately shut her daughter up. They are too thin and I'm not asking you. Nana has many voices and there is a special one she uses to shut everyone up. Again, this shows her authoritative nature. Like that voice is like, keep quiet. Some people have no legs at all. The mother would try again with her small courage. Now, small courage, these two words is an example of oxymoron, small courage. Two opposite concepts put together and they serve the purpose. The courage also that mommy had was very small. So, small courage, perfect example of an oxymoron, okay? But Adjoa has legs. So, Nana's thinking is like, okay, fine, she has legs. It very rarely happens when people are born without limbs. Some without legs, some without hands, some without no limbs only. But that is an accident. But when we do have, she says, if a girl has to come into this world, she must have solid legs, solid calves, solid fleshy ones that have meat on it and flesh on it. Now imagine your body type is being constantly, you are being observed and it's constantly under scrutiny. उसके बारे में बात किया जाता है, तुम्हारे टांगे कितने पतले हैं. It's not at all funny. It sends down a sense of, is my existence only for producing kids? And that also she has to listen to this constantly at the age of 7. Okay, so Nana would say, as I keep saying, if any woman decides to come into this world with all of her 2 legs, then she should select legs that have meat on them with good calves. Now, how can I select? How can a baby select the way the baby is supposed to be? Did you have a choice? Did you have a tick, a sort of a paper where God handed you a form and he said, now you tick what kind of parents you want, what kind of family background you want, what kind of a body type you want? You are not given that. So imagine these kind of people also exist. She says, because you are sure such legs would support solid hips, and a woman must have solid hips to be able to have children. Oh, mother, that's how my mother would answer, very, very quietly. And this Kaya, mommy, used to get irritated, but she did not have the guts to speak against her mother. Sometimes Nana would pull in something about my father. Now, again, when we think all aged people, all our grandparents, or the 60 plus, the senior citizens are very nice people, not always. There are many toxic people as well. You have to admit that we are all humans. So, at times when they are unable to win an argument, they'll pull up certain things about you which can shut you up, because that's your weakness. And when your weakness is presented, जब तुम्हारे weakness को कोई एक थाली में सजा के तुमको ऐसे दिखाया जाता है, then what do you have to say? You just keep quiet, right? Sometimes Nana would pull in something about my father. How? Looking at such a man, we have to be humble and admit that after all, God's children are many. How after one's only daughter had insisted on marrying a man like that, you still have to thank your God that the biggest problem you got later was having a granddaughter with spindly legs, and that took so long for a woman. So she's first blaming your choice of a husband was so bad, and on top of that, now you get a daughter with spindly, very thin legs. So now this girl thought, now okay, fine, I've had enough. This Ajua thought, now I will go on a scrutiny. I will go around looking at women's legs who already have children. So this is also very innocent. She's very inquisitive. She doesn't fall into depression. That's the beauty of Ajua's character. She thinks that, okay, no, I need to do some like research work. So what does she do? So I wished that one day I would see for myself the legs of any woman who had children. But in our village that was not easy because everyone wore those wrap-around long skirts. So it was not possible. Now the only people available in front of her were her friends, and they were more or less like hers. And she thought, she was very confused. What is the standard thickness of a leg? So and the only two pairs of legs that she could see were her grandmother's and her mother's, and she thought maybe that is standard because they have given birth to children. Okay, so now what happens? What she Ajua, after this, she says that her only place which she feels very good is school. This is another brighter side. She is not that, okay, I'm so bogged down at home. Nowadays, I find so many children, because they are maltreated by their family or not properly, understood by their family. तो क्या करते? पढ़ाई भी छोड़ देते. That is very wrong. That is the only power that you have, education. If you are in a certain situation where you feel unloved, misunderstood by your family, go towards the thing that you can create. Go towards your talent. If you are good at running, good at singing, good at dancing, pursue it. Try to develop an expertise in that field. And if you're good at studies, hone that, or hone any talent that you're good at. उसमें ये करो. So Ajua has many good qualities that we can be inspired. Okay, so school is another thing that Nana and my mother discussed often, because Nana used to say, school जाके क्या होगा? School किस काम का है? But Mommy used to say, no mother, I was not sent to school, and it was a very wrong decision, but I wouldn't want the same for my child. She was very sure, and she valued education. She was very sure about educational system, that especially a girl child must be educated, because she did not want her daughter Ajua uski tarah suffer kare. And Nana would just laugh. Again, Nana is extremely toxic in certain matters. She would say, maybe with legs like hers, she might as well go to school. हाँ अच्छा ही है, उसको school भेजो. ऐसे भी उसका जो टांगे है, the legs that she has, she won't be able to get married or have children. So घूम फिर के सब कुछ coming to the point whether a woman has the attribute or the qualities of having children. Okay. Now comes the climax of the story, a very, very beautiful ending. Running with our classmates on a small sports field and winning first place each time never seemed to me to be anything about which to tell anyone at home. This time it was different. I don't know how the teachers decided to let me run for the junior section of a school in the district games, but they did. And she's very humble. This girl is very humble, low profile. Generally, 7 साल के बच्चियाँ क्या करेंगे? मैं first आ गई race में, and they'll go home and tell their parents and everybody possible. But here, she does not. She's very like, okay, ठीक है. First आ गई तो आ गई. Now finally, when her grandmother and mother comes to know कि उसको race में बोला है to participate, they were, especially the grandmother, was so astonished. She herself went to school to get it confirmed. Ki seriously, she can run really with those legs. So is that so? But then when Nana was confirmed, yes, she's in, herself looked so pleased. Out of surprise, my mother shut her mouth up. In any case, since the first time they heard the news, I have often caught Nana staring at my legs with a strange look on her face. उसको यही चिंता होता था Nana को, अरे बाप रे, ऐसे टांगे, how is she running? That means, see, Nana is also so traditional. Her mindset has become so narrow that you can't blame her. Her system, maybe since childhood she had been growing up in this very environment where she thought that a woman must have solid legs, very fleshy, meaty legs, and she used to think अगर वो नहीं है तो उसका क्या काम, उसकी ज़िंदगी का क्या काम है. बट नाउ देन शी इज़ रियलाइजिंग, अ न्यू रियलाइजेशन इज़ डॉनिंग ऑन हर कि इस पतले पतले टांगों में शी इज़ एबल टू रन. Now the changes that came in her, all this week she has been washing my school uniform herself. That was a big surprise, and she didn't stop at that. She kept on ironing it so much that it literally shone in the sun. It was shining. Now after this, and yes, I have won every race I ran in for my school, and I have won the cup for the best all-round junior athlete. Yes, Nana said that she didn't care if such things are not done, she would do it. You know what she did? She carried the gleaming shining cup on her back like they do with babies and other precious things, and this time not taking the trouble to walk by herself. Oh, grown-ups are so strange. Look at the innocence in the language of Adjoa. She says, grown-ups are so strange. Like sometimes they're so toxic, sometimes they're so nice. It's almost like the Gen Z term that you'll say love bombing. Like sometimes they will just dismiss you. Oh, what did you say? Oh, shut up, don't speak like this. Or they'll laugh at you to ridicule you. And sometimes they're like, like they're all about you. Tumko lekar ekdam pagalpan. So it is sort of we get confused. Even grown-ups like us get confused. Anyway. Nana is right now carrying me on her knee and crying softly, muttering. That thin legs can also be useful. Thin legs can also be useful. That even though some legs don't have much meat on them to carry hips, they can run. Thin legs can run, then who knows? And she was constantly muttering to herself because now she's coming to terms. She's coming into that acceptance कि पतले legs का भी काम होता है. And a woman's entire identity or survival is not that she is someone's wife or someone's mother. Even if you are not someone's mother, even if you have not given birth to any child, you can still be a mother. Like I have so many students and I consider myself their mother. Maybe on the other side of the screen, the people who are watching me, if you do get benefited from this video, and I feel so, somewhere I feel a connection with you. So that is motherly. Mother, in order to become a mother, you don't need to give birth to a child. That is ridiculous if anyone does say this to you. I don't know that too much about such things, but that's how I was feeling and thinking all along. That surely one should be able to do other things with legs as well as have them because they can support hips that make babies. Except that I was afraid of saying this sort of thing aloud. Again, उसमें तो मैं बहुत confused रहती क्या बोलना चाहिए जोर से, which is good because at times होता है ना कि and she is a mature girl. Way too mature for her age. 7 साल की बच्ची पहली बात तो कंफ्यूज होकर पूरा डिप्रेशन में चली जाती. नेक्स्ट शी वुड अटर एवरीथिंग दैट वुड कम टू हर माइंड, बट शी हैज़ दैट फिल्टर. शी थिंक्स शुड आई से, शुड आई नॉट से. दैट इज़ वेरी like praiseworthy in her, and it's much better this way to have acted it out to show them, although I could not have planned it. As for my mother, she had been speechless as usual. So the mother is a very quiet kind, that's okay. Minimal presence in her life, the silent, remorseful. But Adjoa says that Adjoa showed that actions are more powerful, actions are louder than words. If she would constantly fight with her grandmother, no, this is wrong, what you're saying is wrong, I can run and you cannot criticize my legs, this and that, and if she would get into a fight with her, with the boss in the family, Nana, then it would end up in a total chaos. What she did, even though she did not plan it, and this is very honest of her, she did not plan it. उसने plan नहीं किया कि एक दिन मैं दौड़ूंगी सबको चुप कर दूंगी. No, it just happened organically. And she says that it's good that it happened this way because कहीं ना कहीं if you keep quiet and focus on your work, people will be answered. It's not that you have to choose your battles wisely. And this girl is a perfect specimen of a mature mindset where you choose your battles wisely. She did not go into a confrontation with her grandmother. She did not. उसने क्या किया, उसका जो मन है, she did not give up on it. ऐसा नहीं है कि the grandmother is constantly saying your legs are so thin. बाकी बच्चे होते तो डिप्रेशन में जाके बोलते तो मैं उसको ढकते और नहीं तो कुछ they would just give up on life. They would not even run, dance, anything that showed their legs. But she did not. This is something we can learn from her. She did not. She still did things which made her happy and she ran in the race. And in doing this, she shut the society, she shut the matriarch, the boss in the house, and she showed a new dawn in their life. It's not only shutting them off, it's also giving them a new perspective about life. These women were also born in a time जब लोग ऐसे उन लोग को भी बोला है, तो similarly they also did the same thing. It's like a generational trauma which you pass from grandmother to mother, mother to daughter. ऐसा होता रहता है. But somebody needs to put a stop on it. So which Adjua did at the age of 7 is praiseworthy, is appreciative, because she did not go into a confrontation. She believed action are louder than words, and she did it. So that's it for today, and I will be attaching few question answers, very important question answers at the end of the video. And if you please, I don't find much comments or in fact any comments in my video. I would request you all to please feel free. Even if you have any suggestions, feel free to comment in the comment section. I will see you again in my next video. Till then, you know what to do, right? Keep reading.